Hello, thank you for joining us for today's Alumni Career Tips. My name is Roberta Watson and I'm from Jefferson's Alumni Office. Today we are joined by Patrick Ryan, who is the Associate Director of Career Education. Patrick is located in the Career Services Office on our East Falls campus. In just 15 minutes, he will provide some tips and tricks for online networking and some additional ways that you can continue building your professional networks. So with that, Patrick, go ahead and take it away.
Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today on our webinar, Networking with LinkedIn. I'm excited that you've joined us today, and hopefully we'll be able to share some tips about how you can use LinkedIn to network and to expand your network. So for all of you that already have a LinkedIn profile, this probably looks very familiar. This is your home landing page for LinkedIn. And so it looks very similar to other social media platforms you've seen, and it has a running feed of your colleagues and what they are talking about in their professional industries. If you look to the right, you'll see my picture as well as my title. If you were to click on anything over in that section, it'll bring you to your actual profile where you can edit and change different things that you'd like to change. And we'll talk about why that might be important here in a little bit. But this is where you'll start. So for all of you that do not have a LinkedIn profile yet, this is sort of what your opening page will look like. You'll want to click on your name to start editing and fully building your profile. So once you've fully built your profile and you have all of the information that you think is necessary to start networking and reaching out to people, you're going to want to decide how visible you want your profile to be. You can do that by going to the privacy and settings, and we'll show you a little bit later with some screenshots where those things are and how you can change them. But you're going to want to decide if you want to make your profile public. What's really great about LinkedIn is that you can have a public profile and you get to choose what is visible in that public profile. So you could choose to have everything be public so that people can see your complete profile, or you could choose a couple of different sections that you feel are the most relevant and that you think most people that are searching for someone with your talents would be the most interested in viewing. So you get to decide how much visibility you have. But I think it is important to consider it because having a public profile really helps you expand your network a lot faster, and it makes you easier to find for recruiters and other colleagues as well. So decide if you want to have other people view your connections, view your profile, and once you've done that, you can customize it to your liking. Make sure to read through each of the settings and decide which is right for you. So let me show you what this looks like. So you can see here, I have a couple of different circles and things going on. So the first thing I want to bring to your attention is up at the top middle circle here, edit public profile and URL. This is something that everyone can do. You can actually customize your URL to be whatever you'd like it to be. So if you look to the circle on the far right of the screen, you're going to see that I've customized my URL to be Patrick Ryan Career. Now, before I customized this URL, it was extremely long, at least 20 characters long, numbers, dashes, and things like that. But you can edit it to be whatever you'd like it to be after the /in. And so if you have a very uncommon name, you may find that you're able to just simply have / your name there. And so that will make it easier to find you. It'll also probably make it easier for you to come up on different search engines as well. So that's something you definitely want to customize. And then underneath, you can see where you can edit the content of your public profile, edit visibility, and things of that nature. So if you look at the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see kind of two profiles, right? So there's one up at the top left that has my picture, and then the one at the bottom does not. And so this is an example of the difference between my profile and my public profile. So on my profile, if you're actually connected to me, you'll see my picture. If you are not connected to me and you're viewing my public profile, I don't have a picture available there. I'm not saying this is the best strategy. It probably may not be the best strategy, but it's one I've chosen. And so those are the types of customizations you can make, as we talked about earlier. The last thing I want to bring to your attention is what's right underneath and has the largest circle on the left side of the screen. Show recruiters you're open to job opportunities. So you get to control who sees this, and you can also pick different things that you might be interested in. So letting people know on your profile what you're looking for is extremely helpful and can potentially build traffic towards your content and your profile. So once you've set up all of the things that you're interested in, both in your public and private profiles, you're going to want to start to add connections. And so where do you start? Well, you start with your family, your close friends, professors, maybe colleagues, advisors you've worked with in the past, people that know you, because those will be quick connections that you can add very quickly. And so you don't have to send a lot of messaging and things like that. And so let's say you're able to build your profile to maybe 50 to 75 connections really quickly. Well, the way LinkedIn works is that you can search for people to an extent. And so what that means is that with those 75 connections of close family, friends, professors, and advisors, you are then now connected to all of the connections they have and all of the connections that those connections have. So they call that first, second, and third degree. And those people will now become available in your search engines, and you'll be able to see how you're connected to different people. So although 50 to 75 people doesn't sound like a lot, when you add those second and third degree connections, your network's going to expand exponentially. So once you've reached out to people that you know really well and you've talked to them about your interest in what you'd like to, move forward with, career or otherwise, you're going to eventually have to start reaching out to people that you don't know. And so I'm using an example here from one of my colleagues in the office. So I'm a second degree connection, which means that I know someone who knows Laura. And so because of that, I'm able to see her profile and I'm also able to connect. But because I don't actually know Laura directly, it might be a good idea to add a note. And I would do this for both second and third degree connections so that you're able to kind of tell them why you might be reaching out and wanting to connect. So once you click add a note, you're going to see a pop-up window that looks like the one at the top, message optional. So from there, you can type in a customized message. And so just to give you an example, hi, Robert, I'm a recent USC grad and found your profile through our group. I'm interested in building a career in the finance industry and really admire your career path. I was also on the soccer team. Hope you still play. Would you be willing to connect with me? In addition to that, you may even ask, hey, would you mind setting up a meeting, or would you be willing to talk to me about your career path and how you got to where you are? Again, trying to engage in conversation and keep these connections going. And so this is an example of a note that you could write, and then you would simply select send invitation. And this would come into their email box as well as their LinkedIn. And so they would be able to then assess if they'd like to connect and potentially set up a meeting or a phone call. So you can search a lot of different things in LinkedIn, and that's what makes this so powerful. It not only connects you to companies and jobs, but it connects you to the people that work at those companies. So you can cover a lot of ground very, very quickly on this website. And so that's what makes it so powerful and a lot of fun as well. So if you look at this page, you can see that I'm on the company search, but underneath that, you have a drop-down menu with a couple of different options. And so when you search for companies, you can follow them so that information that they post comes up on your feed. So for instance, potential job openings, hiring, thing like that. But you can also select the company's names to see if you know anybody that might work at those companies to, again, help you with your networking endeavors. And so company pages are a great place to start, especially if you have some really specific companies in mind that you might want to work for. You can see if you're already connected to people that might work there. And some of the connections will actually be super surprising. You may actually be really impressed with how many people you actually know at a lot of different companies. So as I said earlier, you can search a lot of different areas. We just talked about companies, but you can also search for people, jobs, schools, groups. So there's a lot of different ways you can customize your search. companies and jobs are probably the most popular, and we'll talk about why you would want to even search for people here in a little bit. So if you select jobs, your screen will look something like this. It'll have a list of jobs that are promoted, but what's really popular and helpful about this particular area is that not only does it show you the jobs, but it shows you who you're connected to that might work there. So if you look at special agent, education and teaching at the FBI, I know two people that work there, and I shouldn't say I know them. I just have two alumni that work there. So I have two people that I have a connection with. We both went to the same college. And so I might select that and see who they are. And you would be able to do that, assuming that they're in that first, second, or third degree connection. And so you can select the two alumni work here. It's a hyperlink, and you'd be able to view their profiles and potentially reach out to them to gather information if you're interested in working for the FBI. If, for instance, you actually knew someone that worked there, you would actually see their name underneath there. So instead of two alumni work here, it would simply say their name. It would say Patrick Ryan works here. So that's really, really helpful when you actually know someone that works there. So finally, I'm going to leave you with probably the best and most efficient way to reconnect with alumni and past classmates. You're able to search people directly. So once you've searched for companies, you sort of have reached out to the people that work in the industries that you'd like. You can even just search for people based on schools, based on region, based on company, based on past company, which is really cool. So this is basically the filters that you can use. I'm circling schools here because I think you'll find that that one's the most effective, especially when you're trying to reach out potentially to people that you don't know, because having a shared connection really helps with building rapport. So if you look here, I did two different searches with two criteria. I said Greater Philadelphia area, and I said Thomas Jefferson University. So I had about 6,200 results based on my connections and based on how many people are first, second, and third degree removed from me. I also did the Greater Philadelphia area and Philadelphia University. And you can see that there's a dramatic difference here. So for the first one, Thomas Jefferson University, I have about 6,200 results of people that have either graduated or worked at Thomas Jefferson University. But for Philly U, I have 13,604. Now it could be argued that the 6,200 are also included in that 13,604. So it's not new contacts per se, it's just additional. But again, you want to remember that depending on when you graduated, a lot of your past classmates may have Philadelphia University in their profile because that's the school that they graduated from. So it's important to search, I think, for both because you'll have new graduates that will maybe be under the Thomas Jefferson name, and you have past graduates that will be under the Philadelphia University name. What's really helpful is when you search for these in LinkedIn, they both have the TJU logo next to them, even though the name is different. And so remember, it's going to be people that went here or that worked here. So anywhere in their profile where that school is present, they're going to come up here. So this is a great way to also reach out and reconnect with past professors as well as past classmates. So LinkedIn's a very powerful tool, but it's not the only way to network. So professional organizations and associations, that's still a great way to connect to people that are in your field. Community and social clubs that are in your area. Those are also great ways to connect. Alumni associations are obviously fantastic. Volunteering in your local community may connect you with people you haven't met before and be able to share like interests. And simply reconnecting with family and friends. Remember, people only know what you tell them. And so if you're in the middle of a career switch or you're looking for a new opportunity, they may simply not know that. And so reconnecting and letting people know what you're interested in, what you're trying to do could go a long way for them helping you out. And so just make sure that you're letting everybody know what you're trying to do, because you may find that even within your friends and family that aren't in your particular career, they may know someone that is. So that could be really helpful.
Thank you so much, Patrick, and thank you to each of you for tuning in for this Alumni Career Tips video. As the saying goes, it's all in who you know. So I hope you were able to pull some tips and tricks from today's presentation to help you continue building your professional networks. Whether you identify as a Philadelphia University graduate or as a Jefferson graduate, you are now part of a larger alumni network, and those connections can mean everything. It's definitely a powerful tool. If you're looking for additional resources, I encourage you to join our official LinkedIn group, where we post helpful career-related content, events that you can register for so you can make those in-person connections, and opportunities for you to network with your fellow alumni. You can find us on LinkedIn at Thomas Jefferson University Alumni Networking Group. If you'd like to watch additional pre-recorded videos, please visit our YouTube channel and subscribe. We have a library of different options for you to select from. You can find us on YouTube at Thomas Jefferson University Alumni. Finally, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see 3 websites: our alumni website and our 2 career centers located both on the East Falls campus and on the Center City campus. Each of our websites include a variety of different tools, including online guides, virtual platforms, and our own career events. As alumni, you have access to these for life, so I highly encourage you to take advantage of them. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.